Hello everyone, this is Hobbi Crochet, and last video I've made this Christmas ball and I was using front loop only, as you can see, and it had lots of different ends. So I've created this pattern. I would say improved pattern, but of course it's not for the beginners because I will be using different technique and I will show you how to make this ball without cutting the yarn. It is very nice, very cute Christmas decorations, and I just love it. Don't start with don't start. Start with making chain 17, but please leave the tail. This tail we will be using later to sew this ball together. Make 17 chain stitches. Single crochet in the second stitch from the hook. And making decrease straight away. So first we start making decrease side, and I put stitch marker. This is to easy identify your first or last stitch. 13 single crochets. And you have one stitch left. Make increase 2 single crochet in the last stitch. So this side by the tail, it will always be increase side. And I'm changing the color of my yarn. Finish this last loop with the different color yarn. Chain 1 and turn. Two single crochet in the first stitch. We don't count chain as a stitch. I have made 2 stitches and I will put stitch marker. Don't skip this part, that really helps. 13 single crochets. I will not crochet in a front loop, back loop. I will just make normal single crochet in both loops. Ten, 11, 12 and 13, and because stitch marker you can clearly see that you've got 2 stitches left. Make decrease and I'm changing the yarn. With the last loop you change the yarn for white. This is my third color. Chain 1 as the turning chain, we don't count this as a stitch, and start the row with decrease. First and second stitch we decrease. Okay, don't forget to mark your first stitch. So we've introduced 3 colors, and I will go one row at a time, one row with each color, and then I will swap colors. And I will show you how to do it without cutting the yarn all the time. 13 single crochets, and I'm in the process of writing this pattern down to make PDF version of it. If you want, please check the link in the description below, it should be there. It's not there yet, but it should be there in a couple of days. Don't forget to check my other Christmas patterns, I've got a few. I'm sure you will love it. I've got a Christmas tree, I've got pancetta flower, a really lovely one. And you almost finished your third row. Last stitch, make increase. Don't forget you will need to change the color as well. And this is what I'm gonna do. Next row is sparkly one, but sparkly tail is on the other side. So to finish this round, I will be using red color to finish this last stitch. Find the correct tail. Don't make the turning chain, just make large loop. We will come back later to this. I need to make sparkly row, so I will start from the other side, and that's alright if you go two right sides, two wrong sides, it will not really make much difference, but because I've got the tail on this side, I will start my row with this side. So you pick up a loop, secure your stitch, and make decrease. This side is side with decrease. Place your stitch marker, 13 single crochets, and so the idea of this pattern is that we don't cut the yarn, but if we go for example on the left side and we need the different color yarn, the yarn that is has got the tail on your other side, on your what did I say, right side, left side, yeah, so you don't just like usually turn and go, because if you don't have tail you can't really go and you don't want to cut it, so it means that you just start the row from the other side. Watch me doing it, I will keep going. So this side where we are making increase in the last stitch and change the color with the last loop. So I will be making 1 single crochet and 1 single crochet, and now I will finish with red yarn. I already got the loop, placing it on my hook. That's okay if you've got 3 loops and you want to finish this loop with red color. Chain 1 as your turning chain, turn, and start the row with increase in the first stitch. Place your stitch marker. "13 single crochets. If you want to count 13 every time and you are good at counting without being distracted, maybe you don't need stitch markers, but I find it very useful. Two stitches left, making decrease. And now I need to make next row with sparkly, but the tail is on the other side, so what I'm gonna do, I will finish this with the tail I've got. So I've got only red, and that's okay. Make a long loop and start from the other side, where you've got the tail you need. Sometimes they tangle and you need to untangle them, that's the only disadvantage. Insert your hook in the first stitch, pull up a loop, secure this loop, like making a chain 1. Start with increase. You remember this side, we start with increase in the first stitch. Place your stitch marker. And make 13 single crochets. I'm sorry guys, maybe I will not write down this pattern. Looking at it, which side should I explain? Right side, left side, how to start it. You just make sure that you've got 13 single crochets in the middle. One side is increase, the other side is decrease. It's literally the whole pattern. You will work it out which side goes where when you start crocheting. You will, after 3 rows, you will see clearly which side is decrease, which side is increase. You can see clearly that this side is where we make decrease. And then my next row will be with white, but because I've got red loop, I need to use it. So I'm placing this on my hook and swapping it to sparkly. Just use the yarn you've got, and that's alright, it will be fine. Next, the last stitch will be kind of hidden inside, so don't worry if you use the incorrect loop or so, because white is on this side. I start with this side, that's all. Attach the yarn, making loop chain 1, increase on this side, single crochets, and it will be the same pattern. You just keep going with 1 row in each color, switching the colors and using the correct side where your yarn is. I may continue off the camera and I will show you how to make this bubble together. you've got green loop and you need to make decrease. So I start making decrease and then I pick that green loop, or sparkly loop you say. You can either use the same loop to pull it through, or you can just yarn over and pull that through. I believe it's the same. Chain 1 as your turning chain and keep going. So now we are taking the tails on the other side of work. I've done 20 rows. If you count, I just wanted, it doesn't matter how many rows, literally 1, 2. You just need to make the side the size of a kind of square if you wanted ball. And if I started with red, so I finished with white and sparkly. I think it is 20 rows. And you remember we left the tail, red tail, before we start making it. So using this tail, you stitch the side. Not sure why this ball is slightly tighter and slightly smaller. Maybe my tension was slightly tighter, or maybe because the other ball I was doing in a front loop, but this ball is slightly smaller. I really like this one a little bit more because it is tighter and the stuffing, you can't see the stuffing. So maybe for double knit yarn you either crochet in both loops or take smaller hook if you want to do it front loop, back loop. Now you make some large stitches going around the side of your tube. And don't forget to come back tomorrow. I've got another video almost ready, how to make Christmas pancetta. It's really lovely flower and very easy pattern. I'm making my patterns like live videos that you can crochet with me, and I find this format is the most convenient. For me it is the most convenient because if the person is talking and I crochet, that's what I'm making for you. I hope you appreciate it. If you like this format, just let me know. Put thumbs up, it's always good. It doesn't really cost you much, but it really helps my channel, my video. If you like this video, I hope you do. I think everyone is making Christmas decorations now. Everyone wants Christmas. We really want some fun, some celebration. And for me this is the best time of the year, to be honest. And now we need to gather the other side. First I want to secure the yarn on the other side. Make a little knot. Going round with large stitches. If you've got the same, if you can find polyester ball, you can insert inside, but the problem with polyester balls, you need to find the correct size. So if you've got larger balls, maybe you will need to alter this ornament, maybe start not with chain 17, maybe larger or smaller amount of chains, and then just to find the correct size. I don't have a ball, I will be using toy stuffing. I didn't put too much stuffing, I don't want it to be rock hard. I want it to shape nicely into the ball. Then you just make couple stitches here and there. And I will be making the loop using the same yarn that I am doing my stitches. So this is second type how to make the loop. First you secure this last stitch, leave a large loop and make the stitch secure the other end. And hide the tail. Voila! Shape your ball, just roll it between your hands. And there you go. This is, as I said, this is slightly smaller ball than my first one. Please check it out. The link will be in the description below this video if you want to see my other tutorials, other Christmas tutorials.